This is all about the dream. So how can you manifest your own dreams? How many of you have dreams when you're asleep? Put your hand up. Okay. Do you dream?
Rarely.
Okay. How many of you actually just decide in moments to dream about the future? Okay, cool. How far does some of you go? Like if I said you dream a year out, put your hand out. 5 years out, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so some real dreamers in the room. Good. All right. So like for me, you know, it's an obvious one, but I'm a big believer in that, like, you know, to achieve it, you have to see it. There's a lot of people that will say, you know, I've never had to set a goal, like it just happens to me, and well, good for them, right? Great, but I just don't believe it. Even in their subconscious minds, they're having to map out a direction. So what I'd like you to do with this exercise, and we're going to spend 5-10 minutes on it, is I'm going to ask, in a minute, not yet, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, right? And I'm going to ask you to think about like the top earnings goal that you could potentially earn in a year in your career, right? So that number is decided by you, right? But I'm going to work you through an exercise on how you can pursue more. So just go with this. Everyone close their eyes. Okay, so like I've just asked you to think of a number that you want to see on your P60 as it is in the UK, or in your bank account, or on your commission slip, or in your salary, or in your self-assessment return, a number that you would be happy with. Actually, more than happy, like it would get you excited. So if the number that you've got there right now isn't getting you excited, double it. So whatever the original number was, just double it. Is that getting, I can already see some smiles and people are starting to get excited, right? So like, and there's, this is now the feeling that in real time, imagine that, that you go up to an ATM machine. So imagine the last ATM machine that you went into, and take that number that you just doubled, times it by 10, and show it up in your ATM machine, in the screen when it says how much cash is in your account. If that number's not exciting you, double it again. Right now, if you are at that ATM and you are not excited, you need to double the number. And I'm going to tell you to keep doubling it until like you are absolutely buzzing and you just feel over the moon and satisfied that that number, that cash amount in your ATM, your account, is giving you some of the things that you've talked about today in terms of pursuing them. So like, do you feel free by that number? Do you feel excited by that number? Maybe some of you have got some resistance. Like, what did I say earlier? Optimistic. Just put that number, you're literally just dreaming right now, the art of the possibility. Okay, now what can you do with that number? So what can you actually do with the cash that's in your account right now? So let's imagine you had suitcases next to the cash machine, and like forget digital currency, you're taking this out in cash, right? So think about the suitcases that you've got, and I want you to start taking cash out immediately for what you need. So this should be flying out the machine. Maybe you've got a team around you, maybe you've got a van helping you, and you're going to start using that cash to buy whatever you want. So this is now where you want to start thinking about the material things. What are you deciding to purchase? Is it a property? Has it got a swimming pool? Is it got acreage? Is it an international property? Is it an apartment? Is it a car? Is it an experience that you want to go on? Like, visualize an experience, so pick an experience and just enjoy the moment. Like, make sure you're having a good time. And by the way, if you're not, change it and find another experience. The experience, this only works if you are actually feeling something about this. Now think about who you want in your experience. Is it a partner? Is it a parent? Is it a sibling? And put a smile on their face. You know, start to feel like the energy and the happiness and the joy for showing them what you have achieved and the experience that you're creating for them. Like, you might be seeing it as a movie on your mind right now. It might be an image. If it's an image, make it a movie, make it move. Add color, add sounds. Maybe you can even taste it. Maybe you're drinking something in this experience. Maybe you're jumping out of a plane, so you're not drinking anything. Just enjoy that experience. Like, this is you and your imagination. No one needs to hear about this. Like, anything is possible. And I also guessing there's a little voice in your mind going, well, what am I doing? This is silly. Or I'm not bothered about this, or I can't do this. Like, this is not possible. Anything is possible with your imagination. That's what we were taught at school, to imagine and be creative. But as adults, we lose that. So think about that experience and really add color to it. All right, so go back to the ATM and remind yourself of that number. Is it exciting enough for you? That is the art of the possible. Now, at the beginning of today, I asked you a question around what is your next earnings goal. Every one of you in the room that have not currently achieved 100K should be aiming to earn 100K. Those of you already achieved 100K need to be aiming for the 150, or maybe it's 200. And I want you to imagine for a moment, the moment when you achieve that goal that you've set that is absolutely possible within a realistic time frame that we're going to support you with, and how you're going to react when you see you achieving that goal. How does it feel? It should feel amazing. If it's feeling amazing, like, add some more energy to it. Get more excited about the possibility of hitting that number. Who are you going to call? Who's the first person you call when you hit 100K or 200K, whatever that goal is? How are you going to celebrate? Take yourself to the place you're going to celebrate. Is it a restaurant? Is it a destination? Where are you going to go when you achieve that number? Right, just nod if you've got somewhere you're celebrating right now. All right, open your eyes. How does it feel?
Great.
Pretty good.
It was stressful. I'm like, I do not want to take money out of the ATM. Like, for retirement, I couldn't even take it out. Like,
oh, well, that's interesting, though.
that's my goal.
That's a money but you know, there's a potential money blocker in your mind, right? So you're willing to create some wealth. You're willing to believe in a number, but then you don't want to touch it. I mean, what's the point?
I mean, I'll take a vacation.
So, like, what other comments?
I was celebrating in the Bahamas.
Right.
But I know
You just returned?
Yeah, I just came back. I know what you mean, though. I don't know why. I felt like I kept looking over my shoulder. I was like, someone's gonna...
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
It's a bit scary.
So you were worried that someone might take it from you?
Yeah. But I was also thinking about, like, being able to, like, pay off my parents' house and, like, buy a property. So that was, like, yeah.
And did that feel good?
Yeah.
If you could do that?
Yeah.
What about you?
When you were like with the suitcases, I was like, no, like give me a van with like security people, and then well, let's talk about that van and what I'm going to pay with it, and like that dream, it's not very real because I'm about to sign for a property here now. So
Congrats.
like after 5 years in London, and it's something when I came to London 5 years ago, I was like going in front of a real estate agency. We're like, holy crap, I can't achieve property here. And 5 years later, I'm literally about to sign next week.
Wow.
So it's like, at the same time, I'm like, well, all that money is saved for the house and building. Like, okay, now I'm achieving this. So right now the suitcases are pretty empty, so forget about the van actually. That's going against.
Well, yeah, but what's next?
But then what's next is like, okay, well, the holiday house and building more property, and you were talking about retirement. My plan is not to leave the banks and Lehman Brothers, just take care of my retirement. Like I need to build the wealth. Like we don't know. I'm 35. I have no idea if either the French or the UK government are going to actually fulfill for my retirement. I've got big dreams and big plans, and I don't intend to lower my living standards. Thank you very much. So it's like building that wealth and how I can make sure that I'm going to have the same level of lifestyle when I'm retired. It's like, okay, well, that money is how do I make it bigger, not just out of working, but out of how I'm spending it in a wise way.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
Yeah, what was interesting for me, like first of all, I had some things in mind like a car, holiday, home, and then a big house. But the second thing was seeing all my friends smiling because I can share that with them and I can, enjoy the time, celebrate with them. That was like for me the biggest smile in the face.
Awesome. What about you, Nat?
Yeah, it's good. I've got a really good accountability partner who's successful, and he's like trying to take me on a journey. And he was really kind of this year. Like I've known him for years, and he bought me a ticket for Glastonbury. And we were going on the bus, like, which is amazing, and like I can't. It's ridiculous. And we're on the way to Glastonbury. We're in the bus, and we're looking at, and you can get a helicopter in. And we've got this thing where like in 3 years we're going to get a helicopter to Glastonbury, and it's that like. I was describing it as like fuck you money. Is that kind of like, and using it not in a kind of like hold it, but being like, you know, just fucking buy it, or like, and being with all my friends, being like, how amazing would that be? But yeah, fuck it, doesn't matter. We can just buy the thing and then it's fine. Like
Love
that.
it.
Yeah.
Love it. What else?
I have an interesting limitation in my mind. Like, okay, you know, like when we doubled, you know, like you think about it, so like, okay, I will be happy, but $500,000, I will be happy. And later, you know, like you start to speak more, you know, like increase. It's like, gosh, I want a flat. Flat is 1 million.
Yeah,
and so like, what I'm dreaming, you know, like about $500,000. Yeah, not $500,000. It's not enough. I need a flat, or even I have a house very close to me in nearest street with a Tesla staying and very cute, you know, like a house and with green glass and Tesla staying. So I kind of what street is it? And I'm going, you know, like across the street almost every day, looking at that house and say like, Anna, you want that house as minimum, you know, like why you are enough with $500,000?
Well, this is the reality. Like in London, right, or even in other places of the world. And I think this is the other thing to realise quite quickly. 100k is the minimum.
Yeah.
100k is the minimum for you to achieve some of the things you've just been dreaming about, right? So this is the pursuit now of like how you start stepping up your game. Like you're talking about doubling your age. Like you need to let that go. You need to start stretching yourself quickly so then you can start stepping into that next realm and then like thinking how you're going to up level up. Any other examples?
For me personally, it did stress me out to see the number because like if you keep the money, like this kind of amount I was thinking of in the bank account, how long does it take me to get there? And in the meantime, the economy around me is changing so fast that it's actually not worth that amount anymore. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like 4 million in like 10 years time is not worth 4 million than it is today. So I feel like I need to work faster and harder to get quicker to that number to then actually have that wealth, if this makes sense.
Okay, Yeah, so look, there's the other thing is like this is a driver, right? There's a sense of urgency now. How many of us are just like, you know, you maybe came in today was like, yeah, I'm going to earn 100K one day. Well, fucking what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, are you actually going to make that happen? What are you doing to change the speed that you're getting there in a sustainable way? But what are you actually doing now to step up? And this is the thing, if you don't imagine, like, if you can't, like, what I love about this exercise is, could you actually feel some of the experiences, people's reactions, you know, some of the, like, you can actually feel, so you can actually step into the future today to experience what it's going to be like to get there. And that, like, by not waiting for it, that's one of the statements where people talk about, you know, live today the person you want to become. Don't wait to become the person. Because also, the other reality is a lot of the more enjoyable moments really wasn't about the number, it was about the people. It was about who you could help, it was about who you can share it with. Any other experiences?
Yeah, for me it was actually quite similar to Larissa's, but also the first thought was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this flat in Poland, but then with the rest of the money, what I want to do with it, I would definitely invest. I didn't work this hard to get there, so then I'm gonna use it for things and then work again hard for it. No, I wanna invest my money for something. So, except for me working hard, this investment can, you know, work for me as well.
Cool. Jessica?
I don't know. Yeah, I had a hard time with that exercise, not gonna lie, but yeah, I have a high number in my head, and yeah, I think just right now I'm very focused on investing in retirement. But I do, you know, take vacations, and, you know, I guess I couldn't think of anyone like who to call to share it with. Like, I share these things with my husband, but I don't know, I have some blockers there. I need to digest.
All right.
I don't do this exercise enough or at all, so.
So there you go. So what I'd like you to do, just as a, you know, so it's in ink, just take a moment, just take a couple of minutes just to write down, you know, what a couple of those most exciting experiences or dreams. So, like, okay, yes, if it was material, just write that down, you know, like, this is your personal stuff, no one's going to see this. Maybe it was the number. If it was an experience, like a place on the earth that you wanted to be, if it was sharing with, just quickly write that down.